What is up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video where we get to take a look at the QJ SRV 125, the little cruiser that could. A quintessential beginner motorcycle for your 16-year-old A1 bearing license rider. Coming in on the market at about 3,000 euros or less. This little motorcycle is something quite special, especially for the vertically challenged riders. With just a 720 millimeter seat height, it can easily accommodate even the shortest of riders. But as we usually do, we're going to take it from front wheel to back wheel and see exactly what's what with this little motorcycle. Come on, let's take a look at it. All right, starting up front, we have our regular fork. We have a full array of LED lights. High and low beam LED turn signal indicators. We do have our radiator for our liquid cooled 125cc engine, single cylinder. We have a 17-inch front end with a 280 millimeter brake disc up front with ABS and a dual piston caliper. Now, for a bike at this price point at 125cc, it's quite rare to see ABS, but the SRV 125 does have it, and it also has rear ABS. So again, for added safety for your 16-year-old who's just getting on his first motorcycle. Coming around to the side view, we have our 14.7 liter fuel tank, which should give us a range of about 400 kilometers. We have our ignition key right here on the side, like old school cruiser motorcycles. We have our single cylinder liquid cooled engine, putting out about 15 horsepower and about 12 newton meters of torque. Our rider foot pegs, which aren't all that far forward, so again, for people of shorter height. Our rear shock absorbers, it does have dual shocks with adjustable preload and remote reservoirs. And coming around to the back, we have a 15-inch rear wheel with a 240 millimeter brake disc, again with a dual piston caliper and ABS. We have our LED turn indicators and rear lights. We have our tail, we have our seat. Again, 720 mil seat height. This is gonna be accommodating for even the shortest of riders. And coming around to the dashboard, we have our kill switch, our hazard lights, our engine start button. We have our screen, which does have our idiot lights right here. We have a rev counter, a speedometer, a turn signal indicator, and a fuel level gauge, but now it's pretty empty. And to the left side, we have our high and low beams, our passing light, our turn signal indicators, and our horn. So, like I've said, it's quite a simple machine. Nothing too special here. We do have a digital display up front, which does give us quite a lot of information. I really like the aesthetics of the bike because it does look like one of your classic cruiser style motorcycles. But again, it's brand new, it's fuel injected, it has ABS. It has all the creature comforts of a modern bike, but in this beautiful looking retro look. And in the sunlight, the tank, normally I thought it was black, but it's actually kind of a pearl black. It really shines in the sun. And in terms of comfort, once again, I am 175 centimeters tall, and not only can I flat foot this motorcycle, but I even have quite a bend in my knee. So even at 175 centimeters tall, I can easily flat foot the bike. I'm comfortable on it. The bike only weighs about 150 kilograms, so it's quite light under you. You don't feel a lot of heft to it. And again, being this low, you feel properly in command of the machine. But without further ado, let's take it for a quick spin around the yard and see how this thing rides. It does sound nice, to be honest, for a little 125cc single. You're not gonna get the burble of a V-twin or something like that, but again, it's a 125cc single. But let's take it out and see how it rides. So, riding the little QJ SRV 125. A little 125cc motorcycle for your beginner rider to feel like he is part of a motorcycle gang, a classic style motorcycle gang. And yet at 16 years old you can thoroughly enjoy this thing in a legal way, and it's quite an enjoyable motorcycle. Now, I wouldn't recommend it for taller riders because I'm not cramped on it, but I don't have much extra room, to be perfectly honest. So somebody taller than 175 centimeters might feel a little bit cramped on it, but for me it's good enough as it is. I'm straddling the tank properly, and I have a good reach to the handlebars. It's a comfortable position for me, but for taller people it might not be all that comfortable. Also, another thing I forgot to point out, up here we do have our USB chargers, a USB-A and a USB-C charger, compatible with fast charging. So if you mount your phone anywhere on the handlebars, you are gonna have the ability to charge your phone quite easily. In terms of riding it, the bike feels nice and light and nimble underneath you. The rear suspension, again, like with any style, any cruiser style of motorcycle, you do feel the bumps quite a little bit, but again, this is of no fault of the manufacturer. Expensive suspension is exactly that, expensive, but for the price of it, it's actually quite good. In terms of power, the engine makes decent amounts of power, is nothing to write home about, but again, at 15 horsepower and 12 newton meters of torque, it's quite on par with all of the other 125 cc's from all of the other manufacturers. You really cannot go much higher than this and still be in the A1 category. So it's maxed out to the limitations of the law, at least here in Europe, for the A1 license. In terms of braking, again, we don't have it's a cheap entry-level motorcycle, so we don't have adjustable brake and clutch levers. Reach is good. I don't have big hands. I have an M size glove, so I have average hands, or actually quite on the a little bit on the small side, but at least I can reach the brake and the clutch with just 2 fingers. So if you want to learn to ride like that, then yeah, it's easily doable, even for somebody that doesn't have big hands like I do. In terms of power, let's see, let's open the taps a little bit. It picks up and goes. It really comes alive at about 6,000 RPM, and it really does sound nice. But again, like I've said, 15 horsepower, it's not gonna set your pants on fire. But what I do notice when I open the taps is how positive the brakes feel, and ABS kicking in as it should on surfaces like this, where we have a bit of gravel, a bit of bumps and potholes. Instead of losing control of the motorcycle, ABS kicks in and maintains everything in check. Again, nice little bike. It's a nice little bike, a nice little city commuter bike, and honestly, as a machine to go to high school and back, and on the weekends to explore the back roads around your city, it's quite an awesome little machine because it's so comfortable. This upright riding position with the handlebars swept back towards you, your hands are at a really comfortable position, a really comfortable angle for your hands. You can crunch quite a bit of a distance on this thing in perfect comfort. The engine doesn't feel buzzy, it doesn't feel like it wants to vibrate me to hell and back. It's quite a smooth running bike. Throttle response is nice and smooth, again very important for a beginner motorcycle. Gear shift is nice and positive, and let's see how easy it is to find neutral. 4th, 3rd, 2nd, stop, full stop, neutral. 1st, neutral. Dead easy to find neutral. Dead easy to find neutral. Again, an important trait for somebody just getting into riding and learning the traits of the game. This is an awesome little motorcycle, and again, for the price, around 3,000 euros, you get so much bike for so little money. QJ is really starting to get into the European market, and they're really undercutting everybody. And although they are cutting a bit of corners, I mean, the indicators, the buttons up here, and also the set button that changes the menu on the screen. Basically you just change from odometer to trip meter and stuff like that. It doesn't have a lot of functions, but they haven't given you much features, but also they've kept the price down of the motorcycle, and that's quite important because not everybody wants a motorcycle with all the bells and whistles. Many people just want, at least for their kid, a little simple motorcycle that he can learn to ride on, he can have fun, he can enjoy for 2 years until he gets his proper, or at least the second part of the A category, which is the A2 license, where he can ride the up to 50 horsepower motorcycles. But as a beginner bike, this thing is nice and friendly, easy to ride, easy to maneuver. Quite a joy, quite a little joy. But yeah, that has been the QJ SRV 125 ABS, and until next time guys, take care out there and ride safe. Bye.